Hey, good morning everybody. It's John with GreenKey. We are on site at a commercial job. We're going to be installing a Blink Series 8 dual port 80 amp EV charger, and it's at an apartment complex. They're putting in a single charger so that they'll be able to provide 19.2 kilowatt charging for 2 vehicles at a time. And then we're putting in a little bit of infrastructure to make it easier if they add later. So what we've got right here is we have our transformer. You can see beside the transformer we're going to be adding a stand. Our stand is going to have a 400 amp meter base and two 200 amp panels that will feed both the charger we're installing and future chargers. So we're going to be trenching along our pink line right there, coming down and then running over to this spot right here. And what we're going to have is we're going to have the charger in the center there with an access aisle, a 5-foot access aisle, so that it's accessible from both of the spots. That is required now by code to have at least one accessible charging spot. I'm gonna look the code up and get that back to you, but I believe it's I can't remember. I'll look it up and get it back to you next time. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and get started on this. Today we're going to put our trench in, we're going to set our post in concrete, and we're going to drop our conduit, and then we'll have our trench inspection tomorrow. This job's going to take us about 2.5 weeks, because we do have to have the sidewalk put back after we have our conduit in. So it's going to be lengthy, and we will show you what it looks like as we go along. See you soon. Hey, good morning GreenKey family, it's John. We are on site at a job that we've been to before. This is the second time we've been out here. This is for a Blink dual port 80 amp level 2 EV charger. So 19.2 kilowatt charger, 2 ports. And this is an apartment complex, and we had to build a stand for this. There wasn't any electrical available that would support it, so we basically built a stand. We're coming off of that transformer, work with the utility company to do that. Today we're going to be wiring from the meter to the 2 panels, putting our grounds in for it. We've already run our conduit down. You can see it poking out of the sidewalk right there. That's where we're going to put our new charger. And then we have a second piece of conduit from the second panel that's actually in the ground right here. So if they decide to add another dual port charger, the conduit's already there. It makes it a lot easier. You can see here we've got some parking spaces. Here's my brother Chase.
Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great day.
All right, and we've got 3 parking spots here. What we're going to do is we're going to black out the lines for the first 2 spots. We're going to be putting a 5-foot access aisle in, because requirements now for ADA are that you have at least one accessible van parking space for any EV charger installation, and you have to have at least, I believe it's 20%. I'll have to check on that, but at any rate you have to have at least one. So we're going to have 2, because we're using 3 spots. We're going to put our access aisle right in the middle, and then we'll have 2 van size accessible spots after we're done. Today though, we're going to be putting 2 bollards in, we're going to be putting our charger in, we're going to be wiring our panels, and we're going to be putting our grounds in. So after we get through everything, we'll show you what it looks like. See you soon. Hey, good morning everybody, it's John with GreenKey. I'm back on site where we just finished installing a Blink Series 8 80 amp dual port EV charger, and we're just about done with the job. We got a few last minute odds and ends that we need to do, but I just wanted to show y'all how it turned out. So you can see here we have our stencil laying on the ground. We'll be stenciling these 2 spots, but we had 3 parking spots here, and because the new requirement requires you to have ADA accessible at least one spot when you install an EV charger, we did it this way. We used 3 spots, we turned it into 2, and we have our 5-foot access aisle so that it meets requirements. And then here is our Blink 80 amp dual port charger. We've got it protected with bollards. You can see that it It's tap to pay, different kinds of payment. Very nice chargers, got cable retractors to keep everything off the ground. This charger will charge a vehicle from 20 to 80% in most cases in less than 3 hours. So pretty quick for a level 2 charger. And then we have our service. We're getting ready to have our service inspection so that the utility company can hook power up and we can go ahead and get everything energized and commissioned. And our new service is here. We've got our 2 100 amp breakers that are feeding the charger right now. And then in the future, if they want to add a second charger, we have a second 200 amp panel. So they have the ability to add a second charger whenever they'd like. We did run conduit down the hill and we have it right beside the sidewalk down there. So all we have to do if they want to add a second one is just continue down the sidewalk, take out one section of sidewalk, and then we'll be able to mount our charger and go from there. So that is what we've got so far on this project. Again, we're about done. We just got our inspection today, and as soon as our inspection's done, the utility company will hook up power, and after we have power, we'll go ahead and get it commissioned, and then we'll show you what it looks like again. Hope y'all have a great day, and remember that God loves you, and so do we. Take care.